I'm excited about this one, and I was originally going to say this one. I want to talk about John Bernthal and the Punisher.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So we've been talking about Marvel and Sony, and as usual, I know it's annoying because we go on about these topics all the time. It does get frustrating, but this did worry me because there's a bunch of news going on with Charlie Cox as Daredevil, and also with Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. So Charlie Cox is rumored to be. I don't know if this is true, but it could be a spoiler alert. So if you don't want to know anything about casting for Spider-Man again, there's rumors that Matt Murdock might be appearing in Spider-Man No Way Home, right? As Matt Murdock, the lawyer, not as Daredevil.
Yeah.
There's also rumors that Vincent D'Onofrio will appear in Hawkeye as the Kingpin.
Okay.
Okay. So people basically they're asking about John Bernthal as the Punisher. And then this article is from Matt McGloin. Says John Bernthal not interested in a goofy MCU return for the Punisher, which makes me extremely, extremely, extremely happy. So it says with the multiverse able to introduce any Marvel character with Charlie Cox rumored, John Bernthal opens up about a potential return for his Punisher to the MCU. However, the actor doesn't want the character back in some goofy form. It says. THR asked John Bernthal if his version of Frank Castle would work in a PG-13 action comedy context of the MCU, but Bernthal says he wants to keep things real. Bold Bayonne. It says, the character in particular has real, deep meaning for me and resonance in me. He's really in my heart, man. He's really in my bones. I'm enormously protective of that character. I've said before that there's nothing in this world more important to me than my wife and my kids. And only until you understand that kind of love and what it really means to willingly die for somebody do you understand what it's like to be there, what it's like to be if somebody took them, what it would be like if somebody took them from you. There's a road and a darkness and a rage that's really scares me and brings me to places that I've worked the last 20 years to get away from. So I was really grateful, respectful, and weary of the places where that role took me and the world in which that I had to live in. Says, that being said, that's where the character needs to be. It needs to be a level of darkness. I think if there's any let up on that, you do a disservice. Okay, let me start that one again. I'm sorry. I think if there's any let up on that character, you do a disservice to the character, to every iteration of the character, to every comic book that's come before, and to all of the unbelievable fans of the character. This character means so much to people in the military. So, like I said before, it's not about whether you do it's not about whether you do the character. It's about whether you can do it right. And I'm only interested in doing it right. So there's a lot of the word character in there.
Also, I love it how your voice changed.
Yeah, no, there's something in my throat.
You have phlegm.
Yes, and I don't know if the MCU can do that character justice.
What, the Punisher?
The Punisher. I don't. It's too dark. It's too real. You know. I was watching. When I read the article, I went back and I rewatched his episodes in Daredevil season 2, and there's a scene. Have you seen it? I don't know if you have.
I've seen it a little bit, and then I did watch his series on Netflix.
Okay,
a bit.
And the funny thing is, the character on his version of the character, the Daredevil appearances are 1,000 times better than the character in the actual Punisher series. At least that's my personal opinion.
Yeah.
There's a scene in the graveyard when he's finally caught, and he explains to Matt Murdock what the phrase one batch, two batch, penny and dime means, and how it relates to the passing of his daughter and his wife. And this character, it's about 9 minutes long, and he breaks down by the end of it as he's explaining about coming home from war, coming home to a family, and then only to have that family taken away from him by criminals. And then there's an additional scene where he talks to Daredevil about ideology and what it means to act upon basically choosing to become judge, jury, and executioner, and why he thinks that what he's doing is the right thing. And this conversation is had on a rooftop, very, very good. And the thing is, I don't think Marvel, as entertaining as it is, as fun as it is, I don't think they're really equipped to do that in that realm.
Well, if they want to beat DC in the what was the word? Brooding kind of character?
Dark and brooding.
Yeah. If they want to beat DC in that, I feel like the Punisher would be like a really good thing, but they didn't really do him justice, like how you said. The same thing with the character Spawn. They
Yeah.
didn't.
Oh yeah. I don't know if they can do Spawn either.
I know, like I was watching, like when I was watching the Morbius trailer, like they recommended like a trailer for Spawn when it first came out, and I was like, they didn't really do him justice either.
And that was before the MCU, right? So the problem is that all of these characters, whether we're talking about your average, Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man or Chris Evans as Captain America before they, whatever happened. I don't know if people want spoilers from Endgame.
Yeah.
But they're very different.
Yeah.
But the problem is when you connect them all into this one universe, there is this sense of opaque sameness to everything. All of the characters feel kind of interchangeable because the worlds are all supposed to be connected. Nothing that the Punisher feels should come across remotely the same as what's going on in most of the other characters' existence, right? So I don't want to see what the Punisher's grief, misery, and revenge looks like next to laughing and wisecracking characters in the MCU. It just doesn't work for me.
Well, that's true. I was about to say, what about Deadpool? But Deadpool is more like a Sony product.
No, Marvel. He was 20th Century Fox. Marvel owns Deadpool now.
Oh.
I don't know if they'll...
I'm kind of fearful now because
I don't know
I like how Deadpool is, like where he's unapologetic when he kills.
I don't know if... I'm sure they'll use him eventually. I don't know how well that will actually turn out, but it could.
I don't know. I'm just scared because also they need to reboot the X-Men, and I'm really scared how they're going to do that.
I am less freaked out about the X-Men than I would be about Deadpool. I think they can pull off the X-Men. I don't really know if they're going to be able to pull off Deadpool. But the fact of the matter is I don't want to see Marvel do the Punisher at all. At least not in a PG-13 framework. If they were going to make a movie and make it R-rated, maybe. But that's never going to happen under Disney proper. Disney,
I know.
Maybe under an alternative studio that they own. Like, I don't know if Touchstone was one of the ones they owned, but they owned a bunch of different, TriStar Pictures and different studios that are subsidiaries of their company.
That's true. I just don't know.
So that was more me ranting, just because I don't want to see the Punisher, especially since I love John Bernthal's portrayal of that, because he's actually a pretty short actor. Like,
he is?
Yeah,
how tall
I
is
think
he?
he's like 5. I don't know. He's shorter than the other characters in the show, that is for sure. So that character, like the fact that he was able to pull it off as well as he does is a testament to his acting, and I don't want to see it diminished by putting him in some slapstick comedy with a bunch of other Marvel characters. So yeah, I think that was it. I wanted to finish on the rant because I wanted to get that one over with, but that was all I really had to say today about that topic. So.